Hello everybody. Happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. My name is Mandy VanHavermaet and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Gray Eagle, Minnesota. Let's put those down. Welcome to my Zen Den. I'm so happy you're here. I have to tell you, it was a blizzard this week, right? It was kind of a crazy blizzard and I didn't get to stay home during the blizzard because, you know, post office was still open, so I had to go to work. So I hope you guys enjoyed the blizzard if you're from Minnesota and you got some good crafting time in and you got to hang out at home and just stay safe. Like I said, I was at work, so I didn't get extra time this week to do any crafting, so I was kind of running a little bit behind this week or today when I went to plan my my live. So I came up with two really quick cards using the Fancy Flora Designer Series paper along with the Ginkgo branch bundle and stamp set. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to share a couple of pretty quick and easy cards with you using those. Hold on just one second. My button moved to flip the camera around. There we go. And it's right where my right where my holder is, so I couldn't hit the whole thing really well. All right, and while I'm getting ready, I would like to, it was some great time to make cards this last few days, wasn't it, Joyce? I hope a lot of people got to, I'm jealous, actually, of the people who got to stay home and craft, because it would have been fantastic. Okay, here's the Ginkgo stamp set and bundle. It is in the January to April mini catalog on page 57. I like this because it's a really good and just basic stamp set for thinking of you and for sympathy, which we always seem to need a lot of those cards. At least I need a lot of those cards. So here's the stamp set. It is it comes only in cling mount, so it comes in the red rubber. Really great sentiment, sending hope and peace, thinking of you with sympathy and friend. And then it's got these really pretty ginkgo branches, which I didn't get a chance to. I want to use the baby wipe technique with this stamp. I think that would look really, really pretty. Some awesome dies. My brain just quit working. The dies, so these 3 dies will cut out the flowers, and then this die here is a label to use with these sentiments. And then these 2 dies are standalone, so they cut out some really pretty ginkgo shapes. So we're going to actually use that die tonight, and we're going to use that. So let's get stamping. And oh, I should show you too, the Fancy Flora paper is it's really neat paper. There's actually a video Stampin' Up! Put out. These were actually, all of the designs were made off of paintings. Really, really pretty. Lots of beautiful colors. And then the back is kind of like painted. So let's just kind of go through those quick. They're just pretty and they're fun. And this is actually the one I'm using tonight. Let's see, that's the back of that one. This one here. I just found this one just very beautiful. Brown flowers, right? You wouldn't think, but I just think that's so pretty. And this one here looks kind of like a pond scene, doesn't it? Super pretty. Fun colors on the back. I think this paper is just really fun. Really, really neat paper. Really fun colors. I will show you a card that I made, same kind of set with that paper. Beautiful. I just love it. And they're abstract, so they could go with lots of different stamp sets. There is not necessarily like just one stamp set that you would necessarily go with this paper. Sometimes they're very definite. This paper is not. So let's get cracking. Like I said, this is the piece I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. Let's see, I want this to be my corner. So let's see, like this. So I'm going to cut right here at 4 inches. Okay, so I've got this, and I'm going to use the panel this way. And actually, I wanted a 2-inch strip with this piece, so I'm going to trim just a 1/4 inch off of this side. So I'm going to end up with a 3/4 inch panel, and I'm just taking a little bit of that white off. And then I'm going to trim it to 5 inches. So this here is all I've got as a scrap, okay? And then this piece here is 2 inches wide by 6, and I'll be using that in just a minute. We're gonna make this card first. All right, so let's pull out our pieces. I've got a piece of, and I didn't write these down, I'm sorry. I've got a piece of soft suede, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. I've got a piece of basic white for the inside of the card, and then I've got a piece of evening evergreen, 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to show you a really neat trick with this piece of paper also. And then I've got a scrap of basic white for my stamping. All right, and I'm going to be using evening evergreen ink. So let's get stamping. I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. The sentiment I'm going to use on this card is sending hope and peace. And this really doesn't have a whole lot of, so I'm just going to stamp straight down and straight up. Before I move into that, if you ever notice when I'm stamping, these ink pads are foam. They're not, if you get a really good look at the ink pad, it is not like the material. It is a piece of foam. It's super soft. So you don't want to like really push hard into this ink pad. You just want to tap, tap, tap. And so you don't get a lot of ink around the outside. And then you're going to press, I'm going to turn it over. You're going to press, so tap, 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 and then just press straight down and straight up. You don't want to rock your stamp because that's going to cause, if there is any kind of icky around the outside, it's going to cause that to go onto your sentiment. So that's how you would make it so you don't get ink on, like get that halo around. So now I am going to open up my stamp set here. I'm going to use my die, and I'm going to use this one, okay? And I'm going to just kind of give you a preview here. This piece of Designer Series paper is going to lay over the top of and be matted by this piece of evening evergreen. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine like that, and I'm going to take a piece out of this evening evergreen, and I will show you why here. So I've got my sandwich, so I've got my plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. I am going to run this through right in the middle of my cut and emboss machine. One moment. So there is that. Set that aside. Set that aside. I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up. And if you need to use a piece of Post-it note, go right ahead. We'll see if I can do it here without using the Post-it note. You know, I like to live a little dangerously. There we go. Okay, so gently lay that on there. It's still lined up nicely. Said that too soon. Where's my Post-it notes? Let's grab one. Grab the ones my sister gave me. Nailed it. Ha! Nailed it. My sister works at a hardware store. She thought that was funny. My sister actually owns the hardware store. She thought that was funny. And now I can say, I nailed it. Arr, arr, arr. Okay. Thanks for your assistance, Brenda. Okay, so here I've got my sentiment now. Set that aside because I will be using that on my next card. let's assemble our card. So now I've got this piece here that has that big hole in it. I'm going to cover it up using my designer series paper, and you will never see that. It's a really great way to like use your paper up, right? To add a little something. So let's put some adhesive on there. Okay, and then I'm going to fold and burnish this. And seriously, isn't that piece of paper just so pretty? Who would have ever thought brown flowers, soft suede flowers? I wouldn't have thought that, but I love it. And I think that color goes so nice together, especially for like a sympathy card or like the seer thinking of you, sending hope and peace, kind of an encouragement card. I think this is just a beautiful color combination. Okay, so pretty. Okay, now with this, I'm going to mat this piece with this, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to snip this in half, and anytime you have a shape that's got like two flat sides, you can do this trick. Just put a little bit of adhesive on the evening evergreen. Line it up, make sure that it is flush there, just like that. And do the same on the opposite side. I love these kind of shapes when they give us dies or punches like this, because it adds a lot. Doesn't that add so much? I think it's so pretty. Okay, now I have got my my evening evergreen open weave ribbon. I'm going to flip that over one more time and run just a little bit of adhesive on the back. And I'm going to do just a simple little kind of weaving thing. I don't know what shape I would call this. A Z? Yeah, let's call it a Z or an S. I suppose it would be an S. I've passed kindergarten. Yay me. Trim that off. And so that adds just that perfect amount of color there. Let's grab our dimensionals. This is a pretty long piece, so I'm going to add 4 dimensionals just because I don't want it to sag, especially since I have adhesive on there holding that ribbon on. Isn't that just so pretty? Simple, simple card. And of course we're going to put this on the inside. I'm going to trim that up just a little bit. Not quite so long. There we go. Put this on the inside. I just turned over a blank piece of paper because I do it every time. The back side is obviously the side that's on the table. Oh, yeah. All right. So there is card number 1. Super simple, super quick, super pretty. And let's move on to card number 2, which I'm going to use that piece of designer series paper. I didn't even lose it for that long. I've got a piece of an evening evergreen, 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. A piece of soft succulent. This is a basic panel, 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of basic white for the inside, again, 4 by 5 1/4. A word about evening evergreen and soft succulent. They will be going away soon, at the beginning of May. These are the in colors from 2021 to 2023. I had to think about that for a second. So they will be retiring here coming up shortly. If you like these 2 colors, or the pale papaya, polished pink, or fresh freesia, make sure that you stock up on those before they go away. Okay, so that being said, let's put our card together. And I'm leaving this at 6 inches while I adhere it down. And the reason I do that is simply because I don't like my paper to be too short. So just decide which end you want to have. Do you want it that way or that way? which I think, or you could put it in the middle, which I think that's what I'm going to do. You know, you have to make a decision, and decisions can be hard. So let's just split the difference, because I do like the white space up at the top too. Okay, so just press that down, and then you can go ahead and trim your little extra off each end, like that. So if you are keeping track, that is my scrap off of my 6x6 piece, which I technically could probably do something with this if I wanted to. So not bad, that's a lot. Okay, let's fold and burnish our evening evergreen. And that is going to be attached on just like that. Okay, now I am going to take this Ginkgo branch, and before we started here, I adhered a piece of the adhesive sheets onto a piece of evening evergreen. So I'm ready to go with that. The adhesive sheets are a lifesaver for dies that are intricate like this. They come like this. There are 12 by 6 pieces in this pack. Really an affordable option, a great adhesive if you use a lot of the fine dies, which I do. So let's run this through the cut and emboss machine. The one little trick, when you have adhesive back sheets on your cardstock, I would be mindful, I'm going to do it like this, run it through your cut and emboss machine maybe twice. So roll it through all the way, roll it back, roll it through, roll it back, just to make sure that it cuts through, because you're cutting through more than one layer of paper there. So otherwise your sandwich is the same as you would use for any cutting. So I ran it through once, I'm running it back, I'm running it through again, and I'm running it back again, just to make sure. Okay, get rid of that. So now it is cut nicely. It popped right out of there. I'm going to take my, on the end of your take your pick tool, so I've got more than one here, the putty end will screw right off of there, and you can buy a tip that is this, which is the die brush. We used to carry the die brush just separately. Now it's part of the take your pick tool. So that's an extra accessory to the take your pick tool. So all your tools are all together, all in one. So you can just roll that through, and then these little holes that are in the die are for your other end of your take your pick, so you can poke and get those out like that. So now there is my piece. Majority of these will pop right out. If they don't, grab a hold and take your adhesive sheet off, and they should stick to your backing, hopefully, so you don't have to mess with much. And there is, I've got one. Not bad. And that's where that running it through a couple times, like back and forth, that's where that helps. So I'm going to take my Ginkgo branch. I'm going to put it, I want most of it on this evening evergreen side, like that. Only want a little border there, just like that. And so I'm just going to press it down, and that is adhered. So isn't that such a time saver rather than trying to glue these pieces down? And you could glue these big pieces down. It would be easy, or not easy, it would probably suffice, but I just wanted to make sure that all my little pieces, my little narrow pieces, are adhered down in there. So I love the adhesive sheets. They are one of my favorite things. All right, so now that we've got that, I'm going to bring in my scrap paper here, and I have got the Sentiment with Sympathy, and I am going to use once again, I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen paper or ink. I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen ink. All right, and so notice how I'm just tap, tap, tapping. Don't have a lot of extra around there. And I'm just going to go straight down and straight up, okay? I'm going to close this up, let it dry for just a second. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to grab, where are they? Here they are, some brass butterflies. I just love these brass butterflies, and I think they would go nicely on here also. So let's use the one that's stuck in here, of course. Let's use the one that's harder to get to. Okay, my die. I'm going to use this die again, and this time I'm going to line it up farther over to the edge. I'm not centering it. You totally could center it, and that would be awesome. I'm going to do just a little bit of a trick. So, just like that. Because you don't always have to use the whole die. Okay, so that's my little trick, my little teaser I'm sharing with you. I'm going to do a little different way of using the die. All right, so I've got that. Grab my Post-it note, stick it over there. And I'm going to run that through my Big Shot. Just one time, and that will do it. All right. Take this off, take that off, and there we go. Look at how pretty that is. It's got the lines around it, the embossing. It's so pretty. I love it. I love a good die. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to snip this off right there. I'm not going to put the whole die on there. And I'm going to, and so now it's kind of centered, and I'm going to grab my ribbon again, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do a little bit different. Just going to, this works in my head, so hopefully it works on paper too, for real. Because in my head, this is going to be cool. Do you ever do that where you're like, I'm just going to try it, and then it turns out, about 50% turns out really cool, and the other 50% is like, ooh, that was not what I was expecting. Uh-oh, I think I have children home. They were at archery tonight. Because of the blizzard, archery got canceled yesterday, and so now they had to have archery tonight, and they've got a tournament tomorrow. So they didn't have practice at all this week until tonight. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Do. This is not hard. This is really not hard. Okay, there we go. See? I got my knot. I'm putting it close to my loop, and then it's going to do that. So it's basically like half of a little knot. I'm going to put it like that, and I'm going to, oh, see, that's neat. I'm getting better scissors though, because those scissors are not good ribbon scissors. Maybe these aren't really good ribbon scissors either. There we go. Oh, listen to my boys being quiet upstairs. Oh, they're such good boys. They've gotten a lot of snowmobiling in this year. It's been pretty good. Okay, so that is how I'm going to do it. You could leave this whole too. You could totally leave it whole. Well, that didn't work out how I wanted it to. Come out of there. This is a really, this pack of dimensionals has been a little stubborn getting them out of there. So there we go. For real. It's a stubborn one. Okay, so I'm going to cover up my stems here, just like that, and then I'm going to grab a glue dot, which I had earlier, and I put them away. I'm practicing putting things away. I'm getting better. Should have seen me scrapbooking though last weekend. which is really hard to do at home, let me tell you, because people keep coming and wanting, like, you know, conversation and food and stuff like that. I had like my whole room down here was just something else, man. Hoofty. I'm going to turn that this way. But I did get some good scrapbooking done. I said I was going to. I had a long weekend, and I did get some scrapbooking done. I'm still way behind. But anybody who looks at our scrapbooks now would know we went on vacation last summer. At least. I got like 2 pages of vacation done. And I do my kids' school. I focus mostly on my kids when I scrapbook. So there we go. All right, so let's do some butterflies, because I think that needs a little bit of a, here it is. Needs a little bit of bling. One there. One there. And I'm a fan of 3, so let's do one more little one right up there. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I like that card. So this is, I might need to putz with that a little bit more, but there's my 2 cards using the Ginkgo dies and the fancy flora paper. I did basically the same cards. I said I did them with a little bit different paper. This is the same style, same layouts, same paper, different colors. So I used, let's see here, I've got Calypso Coral and Daffodil Delight with a different piece of the fancy flora paper. And then I used Calypso Coral ink. And this one, same thing, Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and then Soft Sea Foam. I just took the colors that were inside of that designer series paper, and that's what I used. And then I used this crinkled seam binding ribbon. So I thought they turned out really, really pretty. So let's flip the camera around and I will give you a couple of announcements. That flora paper is really, really cool. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Oh no, my Wonder Woman fell down. That's not a good deal. Did you guys ever notice my Wonder Woman? Right there. She's laying down. She's taking a nap. My son gave me that. So I just take it as he thinks I'm Wonder Woman. And I take it as a compliment. So anyhow, a couple of announcements to make. Celebration runs through Tuesday. So if you have any celebration items that you are looking at that you really want to get, you need to get your orders in this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. They will be, and otherwise celebration is done for this year. That really flew by. It was only 2 months this year rather than 3. The other thing is there's a big announcement coming out on March 1st. We've got some new product coming out. It's really, really pretty, and I'm so excited for what I get to tell you on March 1st. It made my whole day. It's made my whole couple weeks, actually. It's really good. So it's something big coming out on March 1st. Otherwise, I hope you have a splendid weekend. I hope you get some crafting done. If you are still digging out from the blizzard, I hope you get it done, because man, that was something. So have a great weekend, and I will see you back here next Friday night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.